Let's talk a little bit about what's next on this journey that mankind is on. We're going to see Mick Foley reintroduce Dude Love, the return of Dude Love. This all happens on a pretty important Monday Night Raw. This is the episode in April of 1998 where, for the first time in 83 weeks, Monday Night Raw beats Nitro. And what does it? Well, it's the promise of Austin with one arm tied behind his back, wrestling the chairman of the board, Mr. McMahon. But as you might imagine, that's when we get the reintroduction of Dude Love. Dude is going to interrupt this main event. He's going to turn heel. And this is the show that ends the streak of all the things that Mick Foley has done. And I know that there's been a lot of discussion about the Hell in a Cell and butts and seats. The thing that I think gets glossed over the most is this segment with him reintroducing a heel Dude Love. I mean, this is the show that beat Nitro. Everybody knows it's McMahon and Austin, but I think people forget that, hey, Dude's right in the middle of all this. That's where we're headed for the next pay-per-view, right, Bruce?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was a show that was built up the entire 2 hours to one thing. Vince McMahon's going to get in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin with one arm tied behind his back. There's actually a chance that Vince could do something physical and beat the shit out of Steve. Could it happen? I don't know. Yeah, the great part about the build up all the way through, Briscoe and Patterson in Vince's dressing room, showing him how to now if Mr. McMahon, if you go in and you shoot the leg and you pick the ankle, and Pat is like, gouge him in the eye, and shit like that. It was a hell of a show. And yeah, and Mick it was all built up to get to the point of Dude Love coming back and Dude Love going after Steve. And now you've got that rifle shot there as well.
We should talk a little bit about, what the character is going to become here. I mean, Dude Love is going to basically become a corporate puppet for Vince McMahon. He's going to do everything that Vince wants him to do, including a match with Steve Blackman, where Dude's going to put an abdominal stretch on Steve Blackman, and Vince is going to say, ring the bell. So, of course, we're leaning into Montreal. I mean, this is a heck of a way to make Dude Love hateable. This most lovable character, just pair him with Mr. McMahon. And here we go, Unforgiven Man. What a barn burner it is. It is a great first pay-per-view main event for this Austin era. He's the hottest star in the business. And boy, they pull out all the stops in 18 minutes and 52 seconds at Unforgiven. Meltzer would say it was an incredible performance of bump taking by Dude Love that carried this. And Austin's timing was good as well. They're all over the place. I really enjoyed this match. It got 4 stars in the Observer. I think if you were to take a look at this match, this is probably going to be on a short list of both of their favorites that they had of their career. But I think a lot of people look back at this Dude Love character and just think it was funny. Ha. This is a pretty ass-kicking match here. Don't you agree?
It was excellent. And this was showing the dimensions that Mick Foley had. And if you look at it, as I said before, Dude Love really didn't do anything else that he didn't do as Dude Love before. He just did it to a different opponent. And that opponent happened to be the most popular guy in the industry at the time, and that had been in years. So it made people hate him because Steve was just that hot and Steve was that popular. So again, the beauty of Mick Foley being able to adapt to every situation in those characters and keep the characters pure to themselves. Pardon me. Keep the characters pure to themselves. And that's what Mick did. That was the beauty of it. A lot of people didn't really notice it because he was facing their hero. He was facing their guy. So, man, I gotta hate him for that. But he didn't change that much. His association with Mr. McMahon changed. He was doing McMahon's bidding. He was facing the most popular guy in the company. So he had to be a heel. And that's, the rationale behind it. But it was absolutely fantastic showing, and I think the right kind of match for Steve's first defense on pay-per-view, and really get him out there and get him going.
It was an incredible match, and I hope you'll go out of your way to see it. We know that there's much more on the way. We've still got to talk about Over the Edge. We've still got to talk about King of the Ring. That, of course, is the Hell in a Cell show, and so much more in the coming weeks. We'll pick up our conversation where we left off about Mick Foley, because the idea of a heel dude love.
He's a heel.
It's just crazy. And this whole association with Vince, man, it's going to be an incredible story that's going to carry us through Survivor Series. I think 1998 has got to be the most important year of Mick Foley's career by far. Would you agree with that?
I think that it was a place where he really solidified the fact that, Mick Foley, all of his characters, Mick was just such an unsung hero. And you get to 98, and now you're singing his praises, and deservedly so.
It's just crazy to think that, here you are at the beginning of the year, and he's doing stuff with Kane, and then come the Royal Rumble, he's in the thing 3 times, and he's the first opponent for Austin on pay-per-view, and he's going to have Dude Love turn heel, and he's going to have these blow-off matches with Terry Funk. And, oh, by the way, the Hell in a Cell is still to come. Him winning the world title at the end of the year is still to come. 1998, we can't do it in one episode. We'll be back soon talking about more Mick Foley. SaveWithConrad.com.
I'm Nick Castillo from Waterville, Ohio. I've listened to several of his podcasts for a few years, and I've always heard the ads for Save with Conrad. And my wife and I were looking to refinance, and we had looked into a couple different options. And then I had remembered one of the ads and contacted you guys, and here we are. We had some debt that we accumulated, and we wanted to pay it down, get everything in under a much better, more manageable APR. So smooth. I've never had anything finance go that easy. We got a chance to work with Francis and Larry. They made everything comfortable. They were very personable. They were on top of everything. They made sure we were on top of everything. They were with us every step of the way, kind of guiding us. So like I said, I've never had an experience that went that smooth. Right off the bat, we saved at least $250 a month. Within a couple of months, we'll probably be at the $400 to $500 mark a month. I'm Nick Castillo from Waterville, Ohio, and I've saved over $400 a month with SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 32416, equal housing lender, SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.